you?
Good. Did you have a particular...
What my signs were for between now and the first of the year.
Okay. You have the sun in Scorpio, as you know, and you have the moon in Leo. This is a hard angle. The moon in Leo it's a square, so they say between the conscious and the unconscious that there's a difficulty. There's a, what one dreams about or what one unconsciously feels is not always in harmony with what is evident in the light of the sun. The conscious mind has a different need, a different desire than the unconscious. The moon in Leo is about, having a certain amount of fun and enjoying life. Leo is the sign of children, so the unconscious wants to be in touch with that more playful side of yourself, whereas the conscious, the sun in Scorpio, tends to want to make things more serious and get to the root of things and kind of delve into the mysteries of life. Mercury in Libra, so that balances the two elements. Mercury in Libra enables you to be a good communicator. It means that you're able to be diplomatic with people, speak well. In general, Libra is the sign of the diplomat. So, and Mercury rules the mind. So when people are around, your ability to have people get along, particularly people that you're not terribly close to, you're able to suss them out quickly and figure out what's going to make them all work well together. Venus in Scorpio, whenever the sun is conjunct Venus, it usually means for the physical body to be, very beautiful and to enjoy the nature of beauty. In the sign of Scorpio, it's about a certain amount of comfort because Scorpio is about the senses. It's a very, sensuous sign, not in the same way as Taurus, not necessarily about the more material aspect of the senses, but nevertheless, there's a certain amount of sensuousness and comfort that's important, both in the physical body and also in the physical world around you. Mars in Libra, it makes it hard to fight, trying to be too diplomatic with people so that the nature of fighting, you almost like pushed up against a wall before you will, find your way of fighting. And all of these planets in Libra, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, it is not an easy time for the next 2 years in terms of relationships, people that you are close to and so on. There is a little bit of this idea of having to be more of the diplomat than you would care to be at times. It's about structure, though, and learning how to work within those frameworks of structure. I think that certainly by October, all these planets in Libra should have more strength when the sun is in Libra, and also all of the planets that have been retrograde throughout the summer and will continue to be retrograde through, Mercury will be retrograde through September. So it's really not until October that there's kind of a break in terms of being able to be more focused and clear about working on yourself. There's still this pull to want to try to help other people when really the focus has to come back to be on yourself.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks for calling.
Okay, thank you for calling. All right, let us see. Line 2 is Amelia. Amelia's date of birth is January 2nd, 1970, 1/2/70. Amelia is watching on cable channel 12 over in Yorktown. Good morning. You're on with Mary Michele.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Okay, how are you?
Good.
I'm calling. I just have a question. I might be moving. I have a 6-month-old son, and I'm thinking about taking a move out of state, and I was wondering if it looks good, if you see anything that it looks good or not.
The sun in Capricorn, the moon in Scorpio, Mercury in Capricorn, Venus in Capricorn, Jupiter in Scorpio. This is all very harmonious. Have you been thinking about this move for a long time?
For a few months, not too long of a time. Like since about...
January?
No, even later than that. I think like May.
May? I really don't think you can go too far wrong. What are the difficulties with the move? What are you worried about with it?
Well, I'm a single mom and everything, and I'm having problems with my son's father. And I don't know, just the whole move, because I'll be leaving a lot of family here. I'll be moving to family, but it's, not a lot of family, and I'm, just want to know if it'll work out.
Well, I think that your choices, your instinct about your choices this year are very, very good, and you have to trust them. You're not confused about your choices. I mean, you're maybe having a little blip, which is why you're calling me today, but in general, I think that your instincts are pretty good this year. All these planets in Capricorn, it's about expansion, it's about new beginnings, it's about, trying to put yourself in a better place. And I think if you feel that this move, it wouldn't have come into your head right now if it wasn't probably a good idea.
Right.
So I would trust it.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, thanks a lot.
All right.
Okay, thank you for calling. And we're going to be back to Mary Michele. We have 2 open lines. We'll be talking to Maureen and Betty right after this word.
It's all singing, all dancing, all Rodgers and Hart as the Yorktown Performing Arts Theater presents Babes in Arms, opening July 13th, with additional performances on July 14th, 19th through 21st, 26th through 28th, with Friday and Saturday performances at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 2 p.m. Tickets are $18 and $15, plus special seniors, kids, and group rates. Call 962-2842 today and have a great Rodgers and Hart time at the air-conditioned Yorktown Performing Arts Theater, where Broadway comes home to you.
And let's get back to the phones. Mary Michele is here taking your calls on astrology at 241-1310. Maureen has been very patient, waiting on line 3. Her date of birth is July 16th, 52, 7/16/52. Maureen, you're on with Mary Michele.
Hi, how are you?
Very good.
This is actually your astrological birthday today, so I will wish you a happy birthday today.
Thank you.
The
We'll
sun
wait for
came
tomorrow.
back to
It's all right.
the sun came back to its place today. So what's transpiring, and it's the new moon. You're really starting new things. Is that happening in your life?
Excuse me?
Do you feel like there are new beginnings happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very exciting, I think. Are you concerned about it?
Yeah, a little bit.
You are? Well, it's to me it looks good. You've got the moon in Taurus, which is nice. You're going to, the moon in Taurus pretty much always gets what it needs. The sun in Cancer. Cancer tends to remember more than any other sign the gloom and doom of what's happened in the past.
Yep.
So you really, it's over. It came to a head. The worst part came to a head in 92. So I think that, since then, things have been building to get better. But of course, it took a while. It took 5 years before it reached that crescendo in 92. So it takes a while before, you completely grow and go into the new place. But this year is very much about growing and going into the new place. Was there a particular area?
We were thinking about moving.
Certainly, there shouldn't be any financial problems in terms of the move. I think wherever you move to, it will be an even balance. You will be able to get, whatever, like if you sell your house for a certain amount of money, the house that you buy will be the same, if not more.
Well, we rent right now.
Okay, well, whatever. If you move to a rented place, it's going to be either lateral or up. You'll get more for your money, or you'll get a better place. It's just, you have to take the risk right now. It's a good time for you to do that. Is that helpful?
Well, can you give me an idea when it would happen?
I think you have to take the initiative to make it happen. It's certainly, this week is a good time to start to look if that's what you would like to do. I never want to tell you what to do because it's your choice, but right now this week is a very good time, and then to actually implement the move probably the latter part of September.
Before winter.
Before winter. Well, it does. I'm not saying that this whole year. Your solar return for this year, the only difficulties that you're going to be having this year, the moon is opposing Neptune, so your area of illusion and disillusionment. You're going to sometimes feel that things are not what they seem. And that's going to bother you a bit. But otherwise, in terms of the material world, in terms of money, in terms of family, in terms of, your relationships, it's good. I wish you a very happy birthday.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for calling. We'll wish you a happy birthday tomorrow, Maureen, if it's okay. But happy birthday today, because if we forget tomorrow, didn't want to be, in trouble here. All righty, let's get to Betty, who's been patient, watching on Cable Channel 12 in Bedford Hills. Date of birth is March 6, 1933. Betty, good morning. You're on with Mary Michele.
Oh.
Hi, Betty. Are you there?
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
Did you have a particular question?
Oh, just wondering what the year is going to be like.
Okay, you have the Sun in Pisces, Venus in Pisces, Jupiter and Neptune in Virgo. The main difficulty that you're going to have is with Mercury. Any place that if you're studying or you're trying to, educate yourself, your mind is going to be a little bit ahead of your discipline. What is it that you're, what are you doing right now? Are you working on something in particular?
Yes, I'm working on a business.
On a business?
Uh-huh.
Are you having to study for that in some way?
A little bit, yes.
Yeah. Well, the area of study is something that you're going to be having lots of ideas, new ideas and so on. But sometimes the day-to-dayness of as a student, you remember as a student how you had to remember things and
Yes.
and that kind of thing. That is a little difficult for you this year. This, like if you have to do a test or somebody's asking you to just be very, very specific in areas of the mind. But your emotional life has definitely taken a big turn upwards, an upswing. And this happened in April. You have a very harmonious angle between the sun and the moon. The sun in Pisces, the moon in Cancer. Certainly your family, things should be going pretty well with the family.
What about finances?
Well, the only time that you're going to have trouble with finances is when you don't structure it really well intellectually. In other words, you can trust your feelings. If a situation comes up and your instincts and so on, you want to really trust your instincts. But in terms of the logic or analysis or having to do with very specific details, which is about the mind, the intellect, you're going to be a little ahead of yourself. You might not take the time to be methodical, and you need to do that. So,
Do you have any good suggestions?
Let's see. Well, the best thing for the mind, of course, is a form of meditation. You want to try to empty the mind and allow the mind to not get ahead of itself. You want to try to give it space to be calm and not be too excitable. But in terms of, I know sometimes it's hard to do that all the time or on a regular basis. So what you want to do is make a lot of lists, make sure things are very defined, keep your brain busy in a very organized kind of way. Even
very true about me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling.
Oh, thank you, Mary.
Okay, thank you for calling. Margaret, I know you're there. We're going to get to you in exactly 30 seconds with Mary Michele.
Hi, this is Damian Moss from VIP Sports Talk. Every Monday through Friday from 3 to 6, I'll be here live talking sports on VIP TV 12 and Radio 1310 AM. It's VIP Sports Talk, your chance to get on the air, talk sports with me. We'll talk about Yanks, Mets, Knicks, Jets, Giants, boxing, Rangers. It's Sports Talk, and it's about me and you right here on VIP TV 12 and Radio 1310 AM. We'll see you here.
All right, for those of us who are being described every so often as having nothing in our heads anyway, we should be able to meditate often. No, it's true. There are some people who are very capable of just blocking everything out and sitting there. And I'm getting to that point now where I am able to almost shut everything else out and just say, this is my time. I want to, just be that way. Just, I'm just pointing this out to you, Mary.
Well, Mike, I think it's great.
Yes.
I mean, we all need to do that.
All right, Mary Michele, Margaret is on the phone. Date of birth, September 8th, 1925. Morning, Margaret. You're on with Mary Michele.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Mary. I'm having lots of problems financially, and I just wondered if things are going to lift for me soon.
Okay. Are these ongoing problems? Have they been going on since before the new year?
Yeah.
There wasn't any shift in January?
Not really, no.
It didn't just get a little bit better?
Well, it gets a little better, then it goes bad again.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the sun in Virgo, the moon in Gemini, this is a hard angle. Both the sun and the moon are ruled by Mercury. So they're very agitated all the time. Mercury is the messenger of the gods. He's the one that has to be on the move. The sun in Virgo has a tendency to worry a tremendous amount, and the moon in Gemini also. It's about just your nervous system. Your nervous system gets completely out of whack from worrying, and then it's like a vicious circle. You can't stop.
Yeah, I worry a lot.
Yeah. Mercury in Leo, as much time as you can spend with children. Do you work with children?
Oh, I have 9 grandchildren, and I have them here many times.
Oh, you do? 2
of them live with me, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you have the children around, does that alleviate some of this ability to this thing about worry? I think you should enjoy being with them, and the thing about the money, I think, will resolve itself more than you think. Certainly over the next 2 years, you have Venus in Libras and Saturn's in Aries right now. So Saturn is opposing Venus. Venus is about money. There is definitely an issue about money over the next 2 years. It's not going to completely go away. You're going to feel there are going to be periods more or less where it's going to feel more or less difficult.
Yeah.
But right now, it's not a particularly bad time. And I think you're projecting, you're worrying too much when you can really alleviate this by finding things to enjoy in your life. Silly things like playing in the mud or baking cookies or stuff with the kids that really is totally nonsensical.
Yes, I understand.
That's really what you need to be doing. Do you make money?
No.
No.
Not at all.
Well, I think that really it's something that you have to learn how to control your area of worry, and to surround yourself with more children and just people that will make you feel happy, and a child yourself.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for calling. Mary Michele, we got less than a minute left. Any final thoughts for this coming week?
Well, the new moon today, after 12 o'clock today, I think things will lighten up. Maybe the weather will clear up and so on. The new moon, there's new focus. It's in the sign of Capricorn. It's conjunct the planet Jupiter, and there should be,
I must tell you, Martin, I have a sign on my wall that was printed in Time magazine about 20 years ago, written by Mario Puzo, the author of The Godfather. And these are the 10 rules of being a writer.
What are the 10 rules?
And one of them is, I don't remember them all, but one of them is that a writer's life is a tranquil life. If your wife bugs you, get rid of her. That's true, right? This is what it says. And I see this every day because I have it on the wall. And I look at it and I say, well, a writer's life is a tranquil life.
But tranquil, but the problem is that you're around the woman all the time. I mean, you're a man you're steeped in show business. Come on, you know.
Well, I've been in show business all my life.
You've been all your life, and of course you're.
And you know that no one knows who I am, right?
Yeah.
My whole career, boom, gone out the window.
Well, I know you're modest and you don't like the limelight. I know
modest
all
and
that.
humble.
That's right.
That's right.
But the truth of the matter is that if there's any one factor, one item that you'll be known for the rest of your days and beyond, it's I Love New York. I mean, you wrote that jingle, and that is Steve Carmen.
Well, I hope they always ask, what is your favorite jingle? And I always like to say the next one.
All right.
But that is one that has been extremely popular and very well received and very effective.
It's a perennial.
Yeah, it is. So
you may be asked to write I Love Hopfield, you know that.
Well, it's okay. I wrote a sequel to I Love New York called I Love Bayonne. But
but I know you do love
since
Hopfield.
We're only going to be here, right? That's okay.
But you've been here many times, and you know what a great restaurant it is.
Absolutely.
And of course, someday you got to write I Love WVIP too, but that's another story.
What is that? W what? Which one is that?
You son of a gun.
Okay. Anybody?
All right. Now, but seriously, you've written many jingles for so many commercials. What has happened to the jingle business? Is it lessened? I don't.
It's a different business today.
It's a different business, isn't it?
It is a different business, primarily because of the technology that has come around. You know, technology has affected everything. But in the jingle business, what has happened is everyone has the accessibility of a synthesizer.
Yeah.
Everybody has a piece of equipment. You can buy the same piece of equipment as I can.
Yeah.
And where in the old days, when as an arranger, I would sit with a score pad and write a score for a 40-piece orchestra, and you voice the clarinets one way and the French horns another way. And my ability as an arranger then adds something to the mix. Today, we all have the same machinery. So it lessens the individuality, and everybody can do the same stuff.
But I don't remember today the same way I recall I Love New York, which was one of your favorites. You did the Bud commercial. You did the Hershey commercial. I don't know how many you've done. How many have you done?
Lots.
Lots. Wrote a book.
You bought a lot of my stuff.
I knew that. And you wrote a book.
And I wrote a book about it.
You wrote a book about it. And everybody calls you the king of the jingles.
Amen.
Right.
My mother loves you for that. Thank you.
All right. But today, I don't hear the kind of the few jingles that survive, I don't hear the memorable tunes.
That's the reason. Because what has happened is everyone, as I say, everybody can have the same sounds. Yeah. So stuff starts to sound boring, and what advertisers have started to do is to use more announcers. So what you have now, instead of a 30-second sung commercial, is 25 seconds of talk, 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 and then 5-second tag at the end, and nobody remembers anything.
Are you? That's going to change also. So that's the converse of this.
That will change. Not only are all assessments going to increase because we are going to 100%, the tax rate will decrease because we're going to 100%. Remember, if the budgets stay the same and there's no change from the year prior to the reval till after the reval, and you are properly assessed, you should see no change whatsoever in your tax bill. So the answer to your question is yes, that will change. In Westchester County, we do see tax rates that even go up as far as $400, $500, $600 per thousand. That will dramatically come down vis-a-vis because all the assessments will be raised to 100%, and the tax rates will reduce corresponding to that.
Have either of you taken a look at what happened in Putnam County? They went through a reval, and thousands of people showed up to complain. Obviously, they're going to complain if it went up and you're going to be paying more taxes. But did you learn anything from the revaluation in Putnam?